All right. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy King Gabe here, and welcome to the history of, or should I say, my history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 2. Oh, yes, it's been a while since I did the first one, and kind of explains why I switched to doing it like this as opposed to continuing the manga or reacting to the series because it'd be a lot easier doing these history Yu-Gi-Ohs than that format. Still paying homage and great respect to the author of Yu-Gi-Oh. So Kakahashi Ka, uh, Kaizuki Takahashi, yeah, Takahashi, yep. So, yep, definitely showing great respect there. Also, before we go into this, show you a few things I got ready for this stream. As you can see, got this the top of the Yu-Gi-Oh box where I keep that's the lid of this box where I keep a lot where I keep quite a few of my different Yu-Gi-Oh dueling decks. Yep, got quite a bit of them here. Got to show you like that. It's definitely more underneath. Some pretty good cards. Got like an Elemental hero deck. A few of Jaden's cards. Goddess. I think there's a fairy deck with a lot of the different goddesses. Even got Cyber Dragon deck. What else we got? Sacred. Got some Sacred Beasts, Zodia. Yeah, typical. Say the usual rarity collections. Um, and of course, one of these decks are in the dual disc here that I got. Oh yeah, I obviously pulled this out since we're talking about season 2. And this has pretty much become the staple of Yu-Gi-Oh after season 2. This became one of the staples of duelists there. Having this on the arm, the evolution from the big arenas in Duelist Kingdom, where you could just duel wherever you go. And of course, it evolved over time, and you had the Doma arc, but the duel disc they had there was only meant for the Orichalcos guys, but you did get the GX dual disc and the 5D and so on as the Yu-Gi-Oh series goes on. So, and of course, yep, it does. Yeah, the little forgive the little ratchet there because it's kind of old. So kind of got a little old there. The Yeah, but it's still, but the electronics still work and everything. Yeah, matter of fact, yeah, still work and everything. Just that little, just kind of a little rusty in the ratchet there to the, and of course the deck that I pulled out to put in the dual disc, of course, draw 5 cards, and and of course always draw the 6 card. Give me a second. Yep, got some of Yugi's main cards here, along with one of my own. Got Magician's Valkyrian, of course, from the movie. We'll be talking. We'll actually have a review of the Yu-Gi-Oh movie coming up at some point next month. Little spoiler alert, so be on the lookout for that. One of the reasons I want to at least try to have the history of Yu-Gi-Oh season 3. Well, I put it this way, yeah, season 3 done because that had the virtual world and the Battle City final arcs. The Because this one got Battle City and the semifinals. So yeah, season 3 was Noah arc, and then after that interruption they went to the finals, and of course that speculation the movie probably occurred right after the finals. Although according to Media Hunter, it's a possibility that the movie may have occurred after the Doma arc, so might be possible I can get season four done before the movie review schedule because I'm actually going to be doing the review with with a special someone. Not going to say who it is yet. I will leave that as a mystery for the Royal Talk review. So it will be another special guest reviewer. Um, and that's pretty much the best of our schedule will be for next month. So yeah, um, so yeah, it might be possible I can get history of season four before the movie, since they had the Waking the Dragons arc. Um, Actually, they also there's also speculation that it could have happened right after the Grand Prix because the Grand Prix actually was directly after the Doma arc because they were still out there in America. They hadn't got home yet until after the Grand Prix. Come on, Yugi and his friends. So probably after the Grand uh, Prix, they after that Grand Prix they okay. Sorry, checking the yeah. Might need let me unplug this here. Yeah, it's better. Okay, but yeah, after the Grand Prix, that's probably when the movie really occurred because of that one of the images shown in the movie. Yeah. And I don't know why I am jumping on the screen. And when I say jumping, I mean like almost like in a glitch way. Um, this is one of my favorite cards, of course, Silent Magician. I think it's also one of my favorites after season two and on now that I'm revealing to you is Mahavilo, which takes arc, which that we'll get to that in History of Season 3, as well as also Neo the Magic Swordsman, which was my favorite when Yugioh when we first got into the Yu-Gi-Oh series. And of course, we know Yugi's favorite, the Dark Magician, which would pretty much be that throughout the whole show. According to the history records, that card is Yugi's ace, as Yusei said in Bonds Beyond Time. And of course, the Dark Magician's assistant, Dark Magician Girl, which she would make her debut in season two that we're about to talk about. Yeah, so, and of course, there's these two fusion cards that Yugi introduced us to in season two. Burplement. Well, actually, Chimera, the Flying Mythical Beast, which was a fusion of Burplement and Gazelle, and Dark Paladin, which actually, I guess you could say season three because it was used in the finals. Fusion of Dark Magician and Buster Blader. So, yeah. So I'm gonna put these back in the deck, and I would, yeah, I might need to take this off my arm for now because I don't want to be like moving my arm and I get it, and I end up buzzing because this thing is pretty big. If it'll be nice if it was more like in the show they sort of made it. Oh, I got a little message from. Oh, okay. Where they made it more, I guess you could say more compact. It will be folded in and stuff, especially when it wasn't in use there. Um, that would actually be something nice to look into for at least for a collector's item. I'm not sure how that would work in the real world, but maybe like for a collector style to get show accuracy. I think something like that might possibly exist. You never know. But I mean, after all, we get these Japanese versions of the masterpiece Transformers from both G1 and Beast Wars, and even other Transformer series. A little something for everybody in the Transformers franchise, of course. Regardless of what series you like most. Say what series is yours, but so yeah, there's that. So let's dive right into this. We'll ramble for 10 minutes according to my running time. Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 2 history. So, of course, before, just like when I dived into the history of Season 1, there's a little bit of stuff that did happen before going into Season 2 as well. However, it wasn't unlike the where I said Season 1 and before, it wasn't an entire entire fan series before Season 2 or anything like that. Just a little few things that Casey and I did before between the two seasons when they were, transitioning into the second season. Um, Now I'm not sure if exactly when this one came out. I'm just assuming that this was before we got into Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 2 or at some point during Season 1. But I didn't. But since I didn't mention it in the last video, I'm mentioning it here. There was a fan fiction that one of Casey's friends that wrote for her, which this was at the time this was written. I mentioned about how she had she imagined her character being paired with Yugi, like the way my character was paired with Taya, aka Anzu. Um, However, in the multiverse of our role plays, there were times when she imagined herself paired with Ryu Bakura, one that has the Millennium Ring and, of course, the evil spirit within the ring, but referring to the regular Ryu Bakura, not the evil spirit there. Even though the evil spirit of the ring would also kind of have a thing for Julie. That was the thing in a lot of our role plays. Casey's character uh, would always attract a lot of the guys and the different things we role played. I don't. I guess that's one which explains why Zayden is always, as we'll see after issue two of my Yumiko series, why Zay which he flirts with any girl, but why he especially flirts with Julie a lot there. So, oh boy. Um, so so like I said, she in the fanfic, it was a fan fiction of a Julie X Bakura story, Ryan Bakura, and in the fan fiction, we don't. This was involving Julie Kaiba, of course. However, none of the other Yu-Gi-Oh cast members are in this story. It's basically just centered around Julie and Ryu Bakura, and also the friend of hers. I don't know her name or anything like that. And even if I did, I'm not going to mention it here for security purposes. But but she inserted herself into the fan fiction as a friend of Julie's. Um, and this is one reason I'm really ticked that I couldn't find, because I actually had I at least I believe I had a printout of this fan fiction somewhere around here, but I was looking for it this morning and I swear to God I could not find it for the life of me. I don't know why. Um, I might be possibly saved somewhere in like maybe an e. Oh, now it just occurred to me. I probably should have made an extra printout if I did. Ain't no telling where it's at, but I do remember printing it out once and giving it to Casey there. So yeah, probably should have. If I didn't, I probably should have made an extra printout to keep around here. We could have both had a copy. If I ever run across those files, I would definitely try to print out a copy for myself just to have here. But a little too late for the video. But I will mention what I do remember about it. So yeah, so her friend, Julie's friend, in there. We're just gonna call her. I'm just gonna make up a name. Not officially the name of the character. I'd be surprised if it was, but just gonna make up a name. I'll just call her Tara. Tara. Use one a name of name that I've known from high school somewhere. So we'll say Julie and Tara. Yeah, they're in the fan fiction as well as and Ryu Bakura is a new student at their school. Um, they he's introduced when Julie gets called to the office, and they want her to show him around and stuff like that, kind of get him acquainted with the school and stuff. And of course, they run into Tara. Like I say, I'm just making up because I don't really know the name of Julie's friend in this fan fiction. So Tara, sort of a skateboarder chick and everything, and kind of gets into trouble with the principal as well as the teachers. The the rebel, sort of like Max from Goof Troop, but a female version. Uh, so yeah, so there's that. They all get to know each other. They all work on a school project together. Come over to Tara's house to meet up. She has two brothers that are some major troublemakers that end up getting a hold of her and tried to torture him. That was that happened. But of course, Tara and Julie actually managed to get him out. Um, they work on the project and stuff, and then Ryu would come home. And in the fan fiction, the spirit of his Millennium Ring actually existed as a separate person. So it wasn't like him wearing the ring and the spirit would take him over. Or in cases like I explained in the last video, how the evil Bakura actually had what was called the ability, I think the Japanese version called Parasite Host, where he didn't even, where he could actually just possess Bakura even without the Millennium Ring, because a portion of his spirit was in Bakura as well as the ring, and in other various things like a piece in the Millennium Puzzle. When Yugi's puzzle got man, I will discuss that episode. Uh, so yeah, in this fan fiction, yeah, he was a separate entity, separate person. So another example would be like Sherman and Buddy in Night Professor 2, The Clumps, uh, except a lot more dangerous because because Evil Bakura would threaten to kill Ryu, uh, abuse him pretty badly. Yeah, well, it's pretty bad. He's a pretty bad dude. We kind of got that impression from the show, so yeah, that's not very surprising. Comes to Ryu Bakura comes to school. He's bruised up really badly. He actually tries to hide the bruises and stuff with it, but the wind kind of reveals it when his hair goes up, especially on his face and stuff. Julie is in really big shock, as well as Tara. They're like, cuts don't just appear like that, Ryu. What is going on? He doesn't, of course, want to tell them because he doesn't want them to get hurt by Evil Bakura. But yeah, yeah, he's gonna have to eventually reveal what's going on eventually, of course. Because like I said, they are really worried, especially Julie. They get him treated in the school office, um, and it goes a while. The story goes. It says that some time passes. Don't seem like anything bad happens for a while, but then there's this. But then, of course, eventually, and also the Kuiper brothers are mentioned, but they're not shown. It's mentioned later in the fan fiction that they're out of town, so Julie's keeping an eye on the mansion. She's just kind of by herself. Yeah, that happens in a lot of these different animes. Yeah, teenagers, stuff like that, be at the home by themselves. Like Kari, or even children. Sometime like Kari was in Digimon for some reason. uh, so there's a, I think there's a moment in the fan fiction where Evil Bakura actually attacked Tara, chased after her. And he may have encountered Julie, but that was the first. So yeah, it would kind of become known, like, okay, Bakura kind of has the Ryu Bakura has to kind of explain to them what's going on. Um, there's a moment where, of course, and this actually triggers Ryu to actually just confront evil Bakura, even taking the Millennium Ring away from him, along with the Millennium Eye that remember he stole from Pegasus at Duelist Kingdom, and run off with it. I think he did attack the evil Bakura, um, but he runs off from him. Uh, Actually, it's like in the dead of night when this happens. He escapes out of evil Bakura's sight, and even manages to get into Julie's house. He ends up hurting himself again, trying to get into kind of climb up over the fence and stuff like that, and doing it really quickly before evil Bakura can get to him. And once, yeah, of course, rings doorbell and everything. Julie opens the door, letting him in. Ryu is so exhausted that he just collapses on Julie. The wounds that he has I mean, just, oh boy, pretty much like what you probably see in an uncut version of an anime, like on Adult Swim or something like that, like Inuyasha or something. So yeah, she gets him to the hospital and stuff, treating everything again. Yeah, and it's a it's a big moment. It's a moment between Julie and, of course, Ryu. And from what I remember after that, the ending to the fan fiction, of course, it's a big climax where all of them face off with Eva Bakura in a junk. I think there's a junkyard that they face off at. Not completely sure how the battle or whatnot went exactly, but I do know that they did defeat Evil Bakura, and and at the very end they realized, wait, they hadn't finished their school project. Comedy. Yeah, so yeah, there was that. That was a fanfic, and duly noted during season two and even the season of Yu-Gi-Oh after that. Yeah, we got introduced to a lot of other fan fictions out there. There's quite a bit of them. I don't know if this website exists, but mediaminor.org. And if it does exist, not the fan fictions that we saw of Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know if they're still up there or not. If they are, that there's probably like hundreds of them by this point, if that site still is around. Oh boy. So yeah, there was we got introduced to a lot of fan fictions. Like I say, we'd be here all day trying to tell them all. So anyway, so now that explains that. And of course, there was also a funny little skit, Interrupt Joey, that we did once when Casey was out of town, and I was sitting, and he decided to send an email to her as the in character as Joey, and people would keep interrupting him trying to send the email. And he was getting really irritated there. There was even a part where Bandit Keith asked him where the mustard was. Hey Joey, where's the mustard? Can I get some mustard on that? So yeah, we had a lot of fun in our different role plays. There was even times when we kind of just did stuff at random, wasn't even specifically doing a specific thing or topic, I guess, in the role play. We just sort of was just talking at random sometime. We had a lot of moments like that. Uh, yeah. So now let's go in. So going into season two, this is what you've all been waiting for. So season two. Now officially, according if you go by the English dub, of course, season two, I suppose, would start um right pretty much right direct in the English dub right directly after the Battle City tournament was first announced. So I'm guessing English dub's first episode of season two would be either the episode where Joey dueled those rare hunters, trying to get because they were in his way, trying to get to his sister's operation, Serenity, or it would have officially started right when the tournament actually starts and Yugi dueled the rare hunter that got into it with Joey. So, um, but we're going, we're gonna start from where officially the Japanese version would have started, but still referencing the English version. Um, Officially, the Japanese version, for some reason, going by when they switched, like the Yu-Gi-Oh openings, like for Duelist Kingdom, they had this Yumi Okiya, da go, yeah, I'm not. I it's just letting you know, I'm not. I know that's not actual Japanese I'm speaking, but that's how I'm just going by how it sounds there. No disrespect though, but I'm just going by how it sounded to me because trust me, these songs are pretty cool. Especially the Battle City one. Battle City's opening both in English and Japanese are phenomenal. The Battle City theme, you move, dong, 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 dong. Wow! I'm like, yeah, this is Saturday morning, yeah. Just imagine instead of my alarm clock, that the TV just pops on by itself, and I'm up, Yu-Gi-Oh! And don't get me started with the Japanese version. Don 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 don. Oh wait, it's I think it's don 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 don. Where does in the eye? Like, ooh. Dee, 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 dee. Oh yeah, I'm ready to duel. So yeah. And speaking of the Japanese version, another another one of my favorite openings. Now I do like. I'm not saying I don't like the other openings, but these are just my favorite. The season two and from the Japanese version, season four is opening with the Doma arc there. Where and the first time I watched the Doma arc in the Japanese version, I was like, okay, I'm down. Yeah, like I say, I'm down. I will explain more about how I felt season four when it first came out. When we get to that video, I will explain more about that. But I will say, watching the Japanese version, I was like, okay, I'm in. and that song was part of it. Like, heroes, yeah. So okay, so back to season two. Too much. See, the excitement in Yu-Gi-Oh can really get you in there. So, you got to beware of the excitement in the Yu-Gi-Oh series because oh boy, it will you say it's sometimes it's hard to stay in one place with Yu-Gi-Oh's excitement there. Yeah, so like what they said about the kids' attention span, this excited, then all of a sudden, oh, what's this over there? What's over there? So so according to the Japanese version, they started, I think, the like halfway through the Dungeon Dice Monster arc for some reason, with the season two opening, dun dun dun, which is kind of odd because yeah, wouldn't you want to finish the Dungeon Dice Monster thing there? At least that's what I remember last time we watched the Japanese version of the Yu-Gi-Oh series. Um, which of course, as I mentioned before to people, yes, the Yu-Gi-Oh, we I have seen the entire English dub of Yu-Gi-Oh. 'Cause we had it, we checked it out of the library. Might possibly order it one day. That whole English dub series there, and we have seen the entire Japanese version. When I say we, I'm pretty sure Casey has on her own, obviously, because she introduced me to the series and stuff. But I'm also referring to me and Christina, because we watched the English version together. Like I said again, from the library season by season, and on Crunchyroll we watched the season by season with the Japanese version, um, both versions. And right now we have seen season 1 and 2 of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, both English and Japanese version. English dub of season 3. Now, only thing we got left for the Japanese version of season 3 and 4, which never got released to USA. So, oh yeah, that's what we see. But we've seen that entire Yu-Gi-Oh series, both versions. So, yeah, so yeah, why would you not start after that? At least the episode following the Dungeon Dice Monster episode. Anyway, so starting with that episode, there's a two-parter right after the Dungeon Dice Monster. That I would see would be officially season two's beginning, because even though there are a few duels that take place that are not using the Battle City rules just yet. It is the first introduction of Merrick. So also, Yugi has a new chain on here that he puts his Millennium Puzzle on as a way of protecting it from people who try to steal it, like he's encountered back in season 1. Um, the Japanese version was like what had Yami like, hey, nice bling, show Anzu how cool you are. And we also got to see Yugi's mother, who was also shown when they got Grandpa at the hospital in both versions. But a lot of us probably did not notice her in that scene, or if we did, probably didn't really think much of it. I just thought she was one of the people at the hospital, like maybe a nurse or something. However, they did not show his mother in the English dub episode, and it's not a big scene, but it's just a brief scene where after Yugi was talking to Yami in the Japanese version, him, kind of teasing him a little bit, kind of, in a playful way, like show Anzu how cool you are. And Yugi was responding back to Yami. He bumped into his mom coming out of his room by accident, and she asked him who he was talking to. He's like, not completely sure what he said in response, but he after his response, he ran off, and Yami said something else, and he responded to him again. His mom was like, "Huh?" And the last scene that they showed of her was her talking to Grandpa after Yugi and Teo went off, stating that she was kind of concerned about Yugi overhearing him, as far as she was concerned, talking to himself. So, uh, Grandpa was like, "He's at that age. Oh, I was like him too. That's why I'm worried." Yeah, I don't know why they cut that from the English dub. I guess maybe for time constraint, but yeah, honestly, I would have kept that in there. I mean, it's not like it's not like censoring guns, or trying to dub stuff with the Shadow Realm or anything. That we'll be getting to later in this season. I mean, it's just his mom. What was the big deal there? So, of course, yeah. This and another thing that they censored in the English dub, um, you kind of do. I mean, a lot of us did catch on, even watching the English dub, that Yugi and Taya for more than liked each other. Um, Now some people think that Taya liked Yami more so better than Yugi, as far as in terms like like as a boyfriend there. Let me clear that up. Taya's interest toward Yami, as well as his friend, if I haven't mentioned this before, I'm mentioning it again, is more like Yami is their big. It's sort of like a big brother to Yugi and his friends there. I would also say like maybe somewhat of a father figure to, especially to Yugi. But I think it's but I think that he kind of comes off more like the big brother to everybody. Um, like that big brother and somewhat a I guess you could say more like maybe not exactly a parent, but more like how you would look at the cool uncle in your family, or that how a lot of us have that adult friend that's close to us or the family. Like when you're a kid, like when I was growing up as a kid, there was one of the ministers at our church. Um, would come visit me and my mom a lot, and got really attached with him growing up back in elementary and middle school and part of high school. Um, so yeah, a lot of us have that adult friend. A lot of time be outside the family. A lot of time, and sometimes it be somebody in the family, like as I mentioned, the uncle. Sometimes it could be even our grandpa, or even like I say, some people say, well, my mom or my dad is my best friend, which So yeah, we all have that, that best friend adult, but but of course I'm referring to one outside the family, that that we look up, that we also look up to. They um and they because of maybe how they are and how they treat us and everything. So that's actually how Taya Taya's relation to Yami is, or other Yugi as they call him in Japanese version. Remember, this guy is a 5,000-year-old pharaoh. So yeah, don't yeah, I'm pretty sure. And I mean, I know they don't know that yet, but I mean, like I say, you um, Taya's affection is obviously toward regular Yugi. Being of her peer group. The other Yugi, Yami, um, is more like I mentioned, that adult friend of theirs there, or like I say, that big brother. It's pretty much a friendship relation in general. Yeah, it's not so it's not that of a romantically evolved or anything. So her affection is more toward Yugi, as far as the looking upon as I like you, in the way of I want to be your of her wanting to be his girlfriend or something like that. That's more toward little Yugi, which is why later that she would get pretty upset when Rebecca kept flirting with Yugi, and I side with Taya on that because I do not like Yugi X Rebecca at all. Rebecca's a good character, but I just don't see her and Yugi as a thing. Yeah. So, and of course, in the role play, since Julie Kaiba had a thing with Yugi in our main role plays, of course, that's what started my character in the role play having a thing with Taya, of course, in our role plays going. Not the official show, of course, is Yugi and Taya. Um, so so of course, yeah, you get that the two-parter duel between Yugi and Bandit Keith, which according to the Japanese version, well, both of them revealed that Merrick was controlling him. One thing I gotta say about this two-parter from both versions. Now the English dub, of course, we were introduced to first. Um, they of course had in pretty much whenever Mary controls somebody in the English dub, it was always that dual voice, where you hear part of his voice in conjunction with the other person. It was made really obvious that he was controlling them. Uh, Matter of fact, even a scary scene with one of his rare hunters, like something out of exorcism or something. Yeah, this guy is freaking me out. However, in Japanese, it's still noted that he's controlling the person, but you don't hear a dual voice in the Japanese version. It's just the person's voice by themselves. But you notice something odd with them until whenever they show Merrick there, from time to time, and it makes you question if part of them is still there. Like okay, Merrick is controlling them, but is part of them still there, or are they somewhat aware of what they're doing? Yeah, it does. Because the Japanese version even went so much to explain that Keith himself, not even when Merrick first fished him up out the water, when he remember he fell in after do his kingdom. When Merrick first found Keith, Keith was pretty dead set on wanting to get back at Yugi, even though it was Joey that defeated him. But because of that, he never did get to duel Yugi, of course, and get the Pegasus. And so, yeah, he was pretty much dead set at getting at Yugi uh, through this duel. And English dub made it like, it was just Merrick in full control. And whenever you see like Keith try to talk, like, Yugi, help me. Wait, where am I? Like, there's someone in my head. Should have been duel. Leave me alone. Yeah, so yeah, but like I say, now it could have been a little bit of that, but like I say, they sort of made it more mysterious with how the mind control worked in the Japanese version there. So pretty interesting take there. Of course, the reason behind Yami not coming out in that duel, he actually would have been able to connect with Yugi, even with cause when Yugi got there, the puzzle, of course, is hanging right there by the arena, and we know him and Yami have connected back and forth quite a bit through season 1. So much like Bakura, they could have easily just connected even with the puzzle away from them, because I'm pretty sure Yami is really close with Yugi. But the thing, English dubs say that the bond was weak. He couldn't connect with him. Okay, I guess that could be possible. And Yugi's like, I never dueled alone before. Kind of neglecting the duel between him and Rebecca. However, um, but the Japanese version, um, they actually both Yugi and Yami were actually in agreement for Yugi to just go at this by himself, because Yami was sensing that something wasn't right here, and that there was a that and of course later it's revealed that it's Bandit Keith, and they also see that wait, he's being controlled by something. But that was the thing, yeah. Yami was sensing the detection of another Millennium item, which of course was the Millennium Rod, and he was trying, yeah, something that yeah he felt that he didn't need to come out at that particular point. But yeah, him and Yuki were both in agreement in the Japanese version on that. Of course, they go through the duel, and uh, we know Yanni Bakura uh, con- tried to got there as well, um, even freeing Keith from Mary's control. I think somewhere in part 2 of this episode of this part 2 of the duel, and that's what, of course, led to eventually Keith smashing the Millennium Puzzle. Uh, it was actually in the English dub. He smashed the puzzle because he didn't want nobody else to get it. Like, if I can't have this puzzle, no one can. Which, when you hear the Japanese version, it actually wasn't anything to do with Merrick. Merrick was trying to get control of Keith again, but he wasn't able to, and Keith was just completely lost it and just smashed the puzzle on his own. No, nothing to do with Merrick. Yeah. So and then of course Joey and Tristan and Taya all show up. Suppose my character would probably been with them. Break in, they get Yugi out of there. One thing that they cut out of that the English dub does not show is that Yami actually spoke to Joey and Joey heard him and that was how Joey knew to put the rod in the hole and pull really hard. But they skipped that for some reason and just made it look like Joey figured it out. They put the rod in the hole and we'll pull it really hard. Don't know why that was cut. Yeah, see, yeah, see. Sometimes, yeah, I have to admit, yeah, some dubbing, regardless of how it seemed, I can kind of understand with the guns and stuff like that, even though it's still kind of silly. But yeah, this dubbing, you cut out Yugi's mom and how Joey got the got the rod, uh, got Yugi's puzzle free. Why? Oh yeah, just a little something to point out and kind of critique a bit, but like I say, I ain't gonna. But unlike the freaking abridged series, I'm not gonna be uh making some making some nonsensical uh humor parody about that like they do, but end up making the franchise look bad there. It's one thing to critique some stuff of this render, but yeah, 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 the abridged series, like I mentioned before, goes way too far. So especially the more they did it too. Um, yeah, and of course Taya is concerned about what might happen next, and who could possibly be after Yugi, as well as his puzzle. Because we know it's not Pegasus, obviously. Um, we do get the episode of Kaiba going to the museum, of course, to get Obelisk the Tormentor from a seizure after hearing about a little bit of the history of dual monsters and showing the from Millennium Necklace and what the priest Seto and the Pharaoh, of course, that looked like Yugi, which was which of course we later find out is a Tim. Spoiler alert. Of course, we know how the English dub likes to keep making Kaiba say, "I don't believe in all that hocus pocus magic." As that was how I think either Duke or Joey imitated Kaiba, and when he was like, "Yeah, he probably doesn't believe in that. It's all a bunch of hocus pocus nonsense." He sounded like him. Yeah, yeah. Now see that humor makes sense. um, However, the Japanese version, it wasn't that Kaiba didn't believe in, the magical stuff going on. He just did not care for it. He knew there was some stuff going on, like when you see the Shadow Realm and all that. He acknowledged, that there's something going on around here, but he was so focused on, wanting to win his battles and be the ultimate duelist and everything, by any means necessary, of course, even if that meant acquiring ancient Egyptian god cards. So yeah, that was the thing in the Japanese version. So but of course, we get a little humor out of Kaiba's "I don't believe in magic" thing. Yeah, even if it did kind of go on a little too long there, because I mean, you would think, even for the English stuff, you would think that at some point, yeah, like, okay, come on, guy, but how can you ignore big shadowy fog bubble right in front of you, or the pain that some of your finalists are experiencing during the match and stuff, or Joey almost dying in the finals? Yeah. Oh boy. Um, So of course, yeah, he gets the Egyptian god card obelisk from her. Find out a little bit about the Duel Monster history. Then of course we get the episode of Yugi and Anzu's date there. Yes, it is a date in the Japanese version. English dub, he just said, well, the spirit of the puzzle hasn't been feeling too well. But hey, if you were to spend the day with him, maybe that might cheer him up. 10 o'clock tomorrow at Domino Stadium. Thanks, Taya. Okay, I just hope I really can help. Yeah, and yeah, that's okay. I mean, okay, especially considering how, some of the stuff before then in the English dub was written and everything. Okay, I guess that can make sense. But yeah, let's call it what it is. They're on a date. And why Yami was out instead of Yugi? Well, Yugi was just kind of, yeah, one thing Yami mentions is that you is about Yuki's insecurity of things there, and yeah, about showing his true feelings. So that explains the switch in the Japanese version there, of why we see Yami and Taya. So yeah, like I say, it was supposed to be Yugi and Taya, but yeah, Yuki's insecurity kind of took over a little bit. Um, so yeah, they're out for the day. They do their things, talk a little bit, a little montage. There's of course Johnny Steps, that ends up challenging Taya to a dance revolution, DDR dance revolution, dance revolution, and of course Taya ends up winning, even when he tries to cheat a bit, trying to mess her up. But as they say, hey, keep it clean, Johnny. She's still beating him. And then, of course, he doesn't take that so well and wants a rematch. Yami decides to give it to him in a game of Duel Monsters. And, of course, uh, when he brings out Magician King. And I have to say this about Magician King's fusion. I would have much to me, I would have much preferred Magician King to just be, hey, I just summoned Magician King. Because how they do his fusion, because he's supposed to be a fusion monster. Uh, you know how originally in real life Flame Swordsman is a fusion monster, but in the show, like I mentioned before, they do stuff differently in the show than they do in real life, just like any other anime, like Pokemon. That kind of thing happens. Um, this is yeah. If they play Flame Swordsman as a regular monster in the show instead of a fusion monster, why couldn't Magician King be a regular monster? Because their fusion requirements make no sense. Um, Lady of Faith, which apparently is a priestess, and the Witch of the Black Forest. Polymerization merges a witch and a priestess into Guitar Hero. Let me say that again. Polymerization merges a priestess and a witch into Guitar Hero. How the heck does that happen? Especially a witch and a priestess. And let's take away the part of the witch and the priestess part. Two women merge into a dude? Uh, yeah, that's a bit of, and like I said, and please, upon stating this criticism, any anybody listening that is into the Yugioh abridged, or probably posts random, which I probably would do it anyway. But I'm clear, but I am stating this right now. I do not try to go into this with some with some very erotic parody or some sort, even worse than what the abridged series probably has made of the series in general. Yeah, it's just this is just sticking as a critique. That's nothing more. So yeah, that's pretty much the only thing of that episode that was like, what the heck. Uh So yeah, of course, Yugi manages to defeat him. Actually, Johnny tries to back out before the duel is completely over. Taya gets on his case about running away in the English dub and facing instead of stop always running like a coward or of course cheating like he did at DDR. But in the Japanese version, it was a little bit of that, but it was more so. She pointed out, she asked him about, him going to dance auditions and stuff, and how did he do with that? And yeah, that's some dialogue. Now I get, the whole thing of, you know, him not having very many friends and also not running from his problems are some, don't get me wrong, those are some good morals, and nothing wrong with having that for the English stuff. But I wish there was a way they could, even if they still did that, that maybe they could have added in some of the Japanese's dialogue of with the dance auditions, because that actually, if you could have worked that in some kind of way, and that would have gave us a little bit more about Johnny's character, and also why he at the end actually, takes hold of Taya's advice, even thanking her for, just being straight up honest with him, which was actually really impressive there. Considering his character earlier, yeah, how like okay, wow, because actually show and apparently I guess before Taya, nobody was straight up with him like that there, or actually had the nerve to just talk to him like that. So um yeah, actually that would have been a pretty impressive thing to keep in the English dub, but we don't get that. But at least what we do, but it's still good what we do get. I just wish they could have added in a little bit of the Japanese version. So, of course, there it goes right into Yugi and Taya going to the same museum Kaiba went to, finding out a little bit about dual monsters as well, and what Yugi slash Yami's destiny is. And possibly that and also finding out, yeah, I'm probably this pharaoh. But it's also revealed that his name is scratched out. That's why his name is such a mystery until Millennium World. And of course, we get Kaiba's test duel of testing out Obelisk the Tormentor, um, which results of Obelisk punching the ultimate dragon and exploding his computer systems. System overload. Yeah. So, and then of course the Battle City finals start. Um, we get everybody getting their Joey and Yugi getting their duel discs. As I mentioned before, Rare Hunter stops Joey on his way to try to see his sister Serenity, because he promised that he would be there for the start of the surgery. Before she goes in there to kind of lift her spirits a bit. Where she won't be afraid. However, these Rare Hunters get in his way, and of course unleash Exodia on him, taking his red ice black dragon by force. Uh, and he's just kind of, I guess, because I know they actually did get violent with Joey after the duel. So I guess he was kind of out of it for a while, which also led to him sort of having an existential crisis for a bit that next day, because he never showed up at the hospital. And of course, in a Japanese version that wasn't shown in English, Tristan found him at the beach. English dub, he just found Joey and ran him to the hospital. But and of course, you get the heartfelt moment between him and Serenity. But also, as the Japanese version showed, yeah, it was sort of a moment between him and Tristan where Joey was just um, really like he already was beat up as it was, but he was mentally beating himself up of how bad the loss was and everything, and um, just was kind of doubting himself for a moment until Tristan had to kind of knock some sense into him. And of course, heartfelt moment between him and Serenity. She goes through, and her operation begins. And as a reminder, once again, yeah, not cool, making fun of the whole thing of her undergoing the surgery, and in order to save her from becoming blind there. Yeah. So there's that. The Battle City tournament starts. Now, according to me and Casey's role play, and you probably wonder now when exactly do Gabe, your character Hiko, as well as Casey's character Julie intervene? Well, within the Battle City tournament, of course. So unlike Duelist Kingdom, where Hiko just went as a journalist take getting video and photos of the different duels of Duelist Kingdom for the school paper. Well, I guess photos, obviously. Um, Here, he actually is a part of the Battle City tournament. Not only is Hiko part of it, but of course also Julie is, and she sort of joins the tournament in secret. Kaiba Seto does find out later, but yeah, she sort of does it in secret. That was just kind of how Casey had in mind. And also, Hiko's sister Taikari joins in, being the youngest duelist in the tournament, even younger than Rebecca. That happened. So they're all in the tournament. We get the episode, where Yugi duels the Rare Hunter to get Joey's red eyes back. The whole thing of figuring out that he's using Exodia because Joey was trying to tell Yugi, but he's like, "Quiet, Joey! I'll tear your red eyes black dragon to shreds." Uh, Wait a second. If you rare hunters are collecting rare cards, collecting rare cards is your thing. So why would you tear up the card to threaten Joey? Seemed more like to me he would have said something like, Joey, if you reveal my strategy, I'll, some kind of way have you reported and you'll be out of the tournament or something like that. But ripping his card, yeah, seemed like that would be bad for you, buddy, because that there goes a rare card. so so of course, that Yugi Yami figures it out and is able to defeat him, of course, by using chain destruction to get rid of Exodia's head, making this image behind the rare hunter of Exodia's head like, and of course, defeats him with Summon Skull, Chimera, and also Alpha the Magnet Warrior. We get the moment of Merrick possessing the Round Hunter after he finds out his cards are marked, to deliver the message to Yami and Joey about, I'm Merrick, what's up? And by the way, since I'm mind controlling this guy and also control his body, hey, check out me do a reference to exorcism. This guy is freaking me out. And there's that. Joey actually tells Yugi to hold on to Red Ice Black Dragon, and he wants to win it back on his own after the tournament and stuff. He actually intended to face Yugi in the finals of Battle City. Of course, we know that didn't happen because of that whole thing with him and Merrick later, spoiler alert. But that was what Joey's intention was in this tournament. He uh, was wanting to get to the finals and actually face Yugi. Now, I will agree with some of the criticisms of the finals that people have put out there, which is actually makes a lot of sense. Like I say, yeah, there are criticisms that make a lot of sense to some of these things. Um, this criticism was the fact that Joey should have won the Battle City finals. Um, if he had maybe they he could have won his duel with Merrick instead of, okay, Raw is back in the graveyard, but I can't complete my attack because I don't have no energy left to duel, and Merrick wins by default. Yeah, Joey literally should have. And I know some of y'all watching will claim, yeah, he did win the duel. He did win the duel, which yeah, I would definitely, I definitely would agree with y'all. But going by how the show written, yeah, Joey should have. Yeah, that's one piece they should have wrote differently. For the official, episode release, yeah, Joey should have won against Merrick. Now, I don't know if that would have, you know, if the darkness or the shadow realm would have devoured Merrick's evil side, and Joey would have been the one to save Merrick instead of Yugi. Um, Maybe they could have also done something like, maybe possibly, I know Joey was trying to make it um, where him and Mary faced each other, which that ended up happening. Which that did happen. Maybe what if, as much as I know we would want to see as much as cool as the battle between Yugi and Kaiba was for Battle City, the war of the God cards and stuff like that. What if, like they say in Marvel, what if Joey had faced Kaiba first and Yugi faced Merrick, because of that whole thing that of how the Shadow Duel was set up, and both Yugi and Joey win their duels. Kaiba, of course, would not take so well to losing to Joey as even as much as he did losing to Yugi. Yeah, and then it would have been Joey defeating Yugi to win the Battle City Finals, as well as his Red Eyes Black Dragon bag. That would have been a pretty cool feature. I'm just saying, or like I say, he could have actually won his duel with Merrick. Yugi beat Kaiba, and so on and so on and so on. And maybe even, now I don't know if they would still do the filler duel of Kaiba and Joey or not, but yeah, like I say, that's the That's one of the things that people point out. Joey should have won Battle City Finals because that would have been like a really good coming of age arc for him. Yeah, even though he does get his duel with Yugi, but we never see it for some reason, and it's implied that he got Red Eyes Black. So obviously he did defeat Yugi. Uh, and no, Yugi didn't just throw the duel to Joey. But yeah, obviously, because we know Yugi would obviously, actually go through with the duel. So Joey more than likely actually defeated Yugi, got his Red Ice Black. It's just a shame that they never showed it there. Yeah, so of course, but yeah, we didn't get that for the show. So going back to, yeah, Joey told Yugi to keep his Red Ice Black Dragon. He would win it back, and yeah, I got the rare card requirement with the Time Wizard, of course. So we get the duels that Joey has against Esperoba and Weevil to win when Jinzo and Insect Queen, and also even his duel with Mako to win the Legendary Fisherman. And Mako even throws in Fortress Well, even though it's supposed to be one rare card, but Mako, really tell Joey, no, I want you to take two of my rare cards to represent. So, and one thing the Japanese version really was strong on was, with the that duelist, whenever they defeat, another duelist, as they progress on, like in tournaments and stuff, they're representing the ones that they defeated there. So Yugi, of course, after winning against the Rare Hunter, battles like Arcana, Strings, and of course him and Kaiba duel those Mass Brothers twice, getting their total of 6 locator cards. As for with me, Taikari and Julie, my character Hiko, Taikari and Julie, um, I just sort of made up on Hiko and Takari thing. I just sort of made up the fact that I think some of the duelists I made up for Hiko to face. One of them being a character named Davis, which was based off an old rival from middle school. Um, and I think two other duelists. One of them being based off someone from that I knew from high school. I think. Um, don't really know completely for sure. And I know there was some obviously some opponents that Taikari had there. Um, Julie, not only was it the fact, not only was she keeping it secret for a while that she was in the tournament, but also that there was another Egyptian god card that was unknown to the history records. Only thing in the history records was the three Slifer, Obelisk, and Ra. But Julie had a fourth Egyptian god card um, that was I want to see. Okay, I know Siaku was the English uh, was the English name that Keith gave one of his dragons that he used when he dueled Yugi earlier, being mind controlled by Merit. So I would say Siaru, I think, was the name of Julie's Egyptian god card. That was stronger than the three, obviously. Kind of. So yeah, there was that. Some opponents that she faced. I want to say that I think there was also. I know I created an Egyptian god to Valsuki, the Rainbow Dragon. Not knowing that they would have a Rainbow Dragon later in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Oh boy. So yeah, there was that. Yeah, the Rainbow Dragon, of course. Yeah, so yeah, Valsuki, uh, and I think there was some versions where it was released as an Egyptian god card in Battle City, and some other version it was one of the dragons of the Doma arc, where my character was one of the what was sort of, it was sort of like another legendary dragon like Tamias and Critias and Hermos. But yeah, we'll get to that because there's also some other stuff that happened with Hiko in the history of the Waking the Dragons arc. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, there's. I'm trying to think. I think also. Oh wait, that was okay. So there's a deck that he go gets called the toy deck, but he doesn't get this until Awaken the Dragon. So yeah, it's pretty much yeah some of the cards that I had back then, like with Maha Vilo. We know Teo would use that card in the virtual world. Um, then of course all the Battle City duels, they take place. There's the mind control. There's Joey under mind control facing Yugi. Um, them having to try to break him free of it. Um, this speaking of that, I actually ran across someone had did a fan fiction on one of the Yu-Gi-Oh groups of Taya being the one that faces Yugi under Mary's mind control. Okay, but I think it was better with Yugi and Joey. And before somebody tries to come and say, "Oh," and try to maybe accuse me of being like sexist or something. No, that's not the case. The reason why I think it's better with Yugi and Joey because of the whole thing as they and I okay, so I can see where that person's coming from with the fan fiction idea because, you know, like with Yugi and Joey, they're best friends. Him and Taya, romantically involved. So either way, yeah, so he's close with both of them, but just in different ways. But I think it works better on Joey's end there. Because like I say, he's part of the tournament like Yugi is. Um, and it would have been interesting if Taya was a part of the tournament, possibly. But considering how Taya's character is, yeah, that's the she probably would not have she obviously would not have chosen to get in, involved with that. Her thing, of course, like we've seen in the show prior, is supporting Yugi and Joey. Like I say, it's all a matter of what their characters there, not so much of and I know there's all this stuff about get woke and whatever, but yeah, the but it's all a matter of just how the characters are established from the get go. Yeah, before all of this get woke madness and stuff. Yeah, it's just that's just how it is. Some things are just how they are. There's no trying to say, oh, what you trying to say and all that. It's just how it is. so so yeah, it works better with Yugi and Joey in that regard there. And of course, they finally break Joey free. Serenity removes her bandages just in time to see Joey run over to save Yugi from being pulled by this anchor. Also, how that duel was set up. This was the actually one Merrick involved duel that did not involve someone going to the Shadow Realm in the English dub. Yeah, it was because much like in the Japanese version, when you do like okay, like with strings, the Japanese version, yeah, if strings had have won that duel under Merrick's control, Merrick would release him and he would just come after Yugi and kill him. Arcana, the duel with him and Arcana in the Japanese version was not energy discs that would send them to the Shadow Realm, but it was actual buzzsaws that would cut their legs off. Geese. In the duel that Yugi and Kaiba had with the Mask Brothers, the rematch where they had their those half masks on in the Japanese version, it was if whoever lost, there was dynamite next to their life point box, which was edited out in the English dub, and it would blow the surface under them, and they would fall from 2 stories high. This explains how how one of the rare hunters that happened to was able to pull a parachute and stop himself from falling 2 stories high. Putting that in the English with "Oh no, I'll fall into the shadow realm." Yeah, I don't think a parachute would save you from falling into a hellish dimension. Yeah, really? It's just like because I know no parachute saved the butler in the haunted mansion when he got dragged into hell in that movie, and the prince in the movie was able to save Eddie Murphy's character, but the butler got dragged into hell. So yeah, no parachute there. So yeah, that's so yeah. I know. There's dubbing for the kids and stuff, but yeah, much like the duel with Joey and Yugi with the anchor thing, uh, as Mary stated when he still was talking to Taya. Try these on for size. You're both securely fastened to a chain that leads to a large anchor. 30 seconds they will be left 30 seconds will be left for you for the winner to escape. Otherwise the anchor will drop, dragging them to the bottom of the sea. If you attempt to stop this duel, this crate you see hanging over my head will fall. Oh boy, that was a mouthful, and yeah, let's just say it, I know this just the fact of being mind control is bad is already bad in general, but yeah, yeah, obviously I take kind of personal to Taya being in that position. Um, so yeah, for the Mass Brother duel, they should have just kept it as we fall from 2 stories high, much like with the anchor thing with Yugi and Joey that wasn't censored. So yeah, that would have it would have made more sense to keep it like it was for the Mass Brothers duel there, because again, parachutes do not save you from a hellish dimension. If you literally was falling into this shadow realm, I think it would just happen. So yeah, that Serenity, Joey saves Yugi from drowning. Of course, then Serenity comes and gets him out after removing her bandages, seeing Joey as a hero. And of course, after Mai gets some slap some sense into him, because he's beating himself up about what happened. Slap some sense into him to get him to stop, stop with the pity party. And they all head to the Battle City Finals after thanking Gaiba, of course. And of course, we do get the duel between Bakura and Bones. Well, evil Bakura and Bones, because that's his way of getting into the finals by taking all their locator cards that they've been taking from other duelists, scaring them in the graveyard. And well, of course, yeah, he gets there, and they're wondering how did you get all six locator cards? Like dual bones in the graveyard, pretending to be the good Bakura. Now, this is something that evil Bakura has been pretty good at ever since Duelist Kingdom, pretending to be the good Bakura, even mimicking his voice to fool you into thinking that yeah, good Bakura is here. With so yeah, that's something of the ability he's kind of developed. So yeah, you got all the finalists, Yugi, Joey, Bakura, of course, which is evil Bakura, Merrick, who was introduced earlier, disguising himself as Namu. Hi, I'm Namu. And having Odeon pretend to be him. I am Merrick. Not sure why he didn't just come and straight up as himself, but okay. So we got that. Asiju is the last one that comes after everybody's boarded the blimp. As a mysterious duelist. Some of us probably figured out who it was, especially if you listen to the her voice and everything. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I know who that is. Yeah, when she speaks and stuff, or yeah, depending on what version you listen to, and also because I don't know exactly how it. Yeah, like I said, I've seen the Japanese version, but it's been a while since I've seen it. As far as like small details like that. Um, so yeah, all the fight. Of course, Julie. Seto finds out like, oh, Julie, what? I can enter your tournament too, big bro. And then of course, my character Hiko and Zakari, of course, are part of it. Dr. Murabang in there, and they all board the blimp to participate for the finals and stuff. Get Yugi versus Io Bakuro with that Dark Sanctuary um, thing where Yugi summons Slifer the Sky Dragon for the first time. Joey versus Odeon. I'm sorry, pretending to be married with a fake, uh, with a copy of the Winged Dragon of Ra, which very interesting about the copies of the Winged Dragon of Ra. Of all the Egyptian god cards, they only made extra duplicate copies of Ra, and this actually became a plot point in an episode of season 2 of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. So one of Pegasus's employers doing using a Winged Dragon of Ra copy. So yeah, apparently this copy doesn't like is not too happy. I think it was the real Winged Dragon of Ra wasn't happy with this copy, and yeah, Odeon and Joey get struck. Joey gets up first after a dream he has where everybody pulls him up and is able to win by default. Uh, and the real and Merrick reveals himself. Yeah, I ain't Namu. I'm actually Merrick. But then, of course, he has a much darker half that had actually been inside him ever since he lost his father, which was explained in a flashback where back when they were tomb keepers, Odeon, Asiju, and Merrick, they were kept on the ground with their parents. They could never go to the outside world, much like their family before them, which kind of messed up when you think about it there. I mean, I get your dedication to guarding the tomb and stuff, but wow, you never can go outside. Mm. So yeah, I think that. So Yeah, they are kept inside, and Merrick really resents this, and what really drives his dark side for the very first time is the initiation of the Tomb Keeper's initiation when, yeah, the markings on his back, they're tattoos, but how they did it, yeah, I'd be pretty. Let's just say I probably have quite a dark side too. You Cause it ain't like like that like modern day which it still would hurt, but how you get your tattoos in the modern day. Uh, but yeah, you didn't get them like they did. They had a sword and some fire and goose. They etched it into his back like whoa, dude. And no wonder Merrick's so ticked off. So yeah, yeah, there's that, and that's where his dark side comes from. So his dark side is actually not within the Millennium items. It's actually just part of him from the beginning. And of course his dark side that killed their father because of this. Um and also Odeon had been shielding the dark side within Merrick, but now with Odeon's fall, the dark side comes out, and now he's part of the finals. He duels Mai, of course. There's a brief moment um, where Joey was talking about the dream he had to everybody. Mai asked him, "Was she in it?" Which she was, because and the dream was at school. Um, but for some reason, Joey declines it and says, "No, no, you weren't in it. It was at school, and yeah, yeah, Joey, you should have been honest." Which he does regret this later. Yeah, he does, but yeah, like I said, which in a way that does kind of because you got to remember how Joey's character is. But yeah, like I said, he is remorseful about that later when he sees how, especially how Mai responds to this. Because she gets pretty upset. You actually get a sign that she's got feelings for Joey, especially the way she looks at him when she asks him about the dream and stuff, um, which was actually pretty, for my part, was pretty sweet. I just hate the fact that Joey had that whole pride thing going of oh I'm a bird, I don't blah 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 blah. So and sort of got in the way of showing the fact that he probably got some feelings for my what is it with us guys and not showing our true feelings to to girls. Not all of us, not all of us. Some some of us be pretty open. Yeah, especially like Tony Stark. If you're someone like Tony Stark, yeah, or Johnny Bravo, hey, pretty mama, what's your sign? Oh, so yeah, but then of course there's some of us who are like, uh, I like her, but I don't want her to know. And sometimes it goes the other way around, sometimes so it goes either way. It ain't all on us guys. Sometimes girls are like, hey, I like him, but I don't want him to know. Especially if you guys have watched Hey Arnold, you know Helga's like that. Yeah. So with that, yeah, Mai goes into a duel against the darker Merrick. She's all upset with. She is so upset about the fact that Joey did not admit that she was in a dream and everything that and especially in the Japanese version, she tells them not to root for her and all that, or even give her uh, advice or anything. And yeah, if the duel starts off okay at first, Mai gets in some pretty good moves, of course, But of course, we know Merrick is pretty much toying with her. Again, it's not saying that Mai is a bad duelist. We know Mai is a great duelist, but it's just the way Merrick is, the dark, especially this darker half that's even more psychotic than the original Merrick was. I guess a good way to compare them, the regular Merrick, while yeah he had a vendetta with Yugi and as well as the Pharaoh and wanting to kill to be Pharaoh himself. However, he this darker half, yeah, is a lot more out there with the plan, not just with the plan, but also his darker half just don't give a crap. Yeah, it's pretty much like Merrick would the regular Merrick would pretty much be like Lex Luthor at the beginning of his, when he first appeared and everything. He's pretty much Lex Luthor. And the darker Merrick is pretty much like you unleash the Joker as a combination of Mark Hamill and Heath Ledger Joker. I just do things. you know, I got to know more about your wife when she was dying than she was when she wasn't. That's what I like about knives. You really get to know more about people, and it's not as quick as the guns. Pretty much like that, yeah. So, and of course, in Lex Luthor's case, he's more. Yeah, you could say Lex Luthor's a little crazy, even Superman series and Justice League series. But compared to Joker, he knows how to keep his sanity even in his big evil plans. Kind of keep control of his sanity. I paid $75 million for a fake campaign just to tick Superman off. So, what else do you have for me, conspiracy dude? Not that he ever said dude, but you get the picture. uh, which also explains the big difference between Lex Luthor and Joker in the animated series as opposed to what we got in the Zack Snyder movies. Not saying anything mean, not trying to be mean to you, Zack. Trust me. I, I have great respect for you, man, especially your Justice League movie. But yeah, I'm just pointing out, yeah, the contrast between how you did Lex and Joker as opposed to the animated series where Lex kind of seemed like yeah. If the devil, he is coming. The bells cannot be rung. So just pointing that out, yeah. And of course, I'm pretty sure you've probably seen he stuff about your movies and stuff like that. They done their thing, but and yeah, I definitely get and yeah, since I mentioned it, yeah, does give a lot of credit to Zack Snyder being really cool about a lot of the criticisms toward that, which that was the reason we got such a great Justice League movie. Yeah, despite what the previous movies have been like, yeah, Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League is a really awesome DC movie of that universe. Because they're about to reset it now, but of that universe, that was your strongest movie of all. It's very long, but it is definitely worth it there. And yeah, a lot of credit, lot of credit to Zack Snyder for yeah. I really feel like he really took a lot of consideration in toward criticism of his previous films to really put even more into this movie because I'm pretty sure he put a lot into the previous movie, even with the criticism. Yeah, I say, but yeah, a lot of time, other people's visions, sometimes may not be very well accepted sometimes, but yeah, you still got to acknowledge the hard work they put into that, though. So yeah, let's put that out. So didn't mean to get off topic there, but Yeah, we get that. Merrick and Mai, of course, Joey admits that he did see Mai in the dream, but of course, Mai loses the duel. Um, and yeah, gets sent to the Shadow Realm. Pretty much is in a torture hourglass, sort of. She's with kind of withering. Yeah, just sort of there watching everybody um, as they play in that hourglass and everything, and losing her memories even more. Then of course we get Kaiba and Seiju. Now let's point out the fact, because I know earlier in the last video I was talking about who was cheating and who wasn't cheating in the show. Um, Seiju, unlike Pegasus, Seiju I don't think would actually be considered cheating. And yes, I know she's using her Millennium necklace, but the thing is, she saw into the future long before the Battle City tournament. See, this is the thing. Um, you know how like Raven gets vision, Raven Simone in her show That's So Raven would get these visions of stuff that was about to happen, and then she would try some of them. She'd be like, "Ooh, that's gonna be cool," or she would try to stop it from happening, and it ended up still happening because she only saw parts of what the future was about to come, but a lot of times, but she didn't see the full thing. Sort of reminds me of what this I got it posted on the channel. What a This guy was saying that I shared this video. You know how they say God shows you will show you the plan, but he won't show you the full plan. Sort of like Raven Simone's vision. Yeah, like he showed Joseph how oh hey Joseph, you're gonna be king, and you're gonna be ruling over Egypt and everything, and your brothers are gonna be like the you and your brothers will be the 12 tribes of Israel and all that. Well, I'm sorry, your brothers would bow down to you and stuff like that. He showed them that in the dream where the planet and the sun and the moon, all that were bowing to Joseph. Joseph didn't quite fully understand. He knew that that's the message he was getting, but he didn't know how that was going to happen. Uh, and one thing the guy said that if God had showed him how he got to that point, like okay, well your brothers are going to sell you into slavery, and then you're going to work for Potiphar, but then his wife is going to try to accuse you. You're going to be put in jail, and you're going to be there for so long, and then you'll finally become. Then you'll interpret the Pharaoh's dream, and then you'll get to that point. Uh, yeah, one thing, uh, and it is true, and this is probably true. Is because I mean, some of us probably would react this way if we were shown the process of how we get to the greater thing that a lot of us, a lot of time we be wanting to get to in life. If we were shown the process before it happened, sort of like spoiling a movie, we'd be like, oh no, I don't want to go through all that. So yeah, we're shown what it is that God has in store for us, but not the process. We go through the process, but we're not shown it ahead of time because, as they say, spoiler alert. So that's how Asishu's necklace is. Her Millennium necklace. It showed her like okay, like the fact that this Battle City tournament would start. She would, all the duels that would take place, dueling Kaiba, and some of the stuff he would use. But the thing is, it was shown to her before it happened. Like when she first put the necklace on, she saw all this stuff just kind of rushed at her, like, "Whoa, what, wait, what?" But so it's not the same as Pegasus using his eye to look at people's cards. There, like, it's the card you drew, the summon skull. Now, of course, I understand some people would look at that, and yeah, again, acknowledging that it is her Millennium item, but some people would look at that and think that she's cheating like Pegasus. However, and like I say, some of them are still going to believe it despite what I'm explaining, but I'm going to explain it anyway. She's not technically cheating. Is like I say, she's being shown it before this stuff happened. Now, as evidence that this would not be considered cheating is the fact, just like Raven Simone when or Raven Baxter, how she's showing pieces of the future, but there's still other parts that she be in the dark about. She had no idea that Kaiba was that the Millennium Rod would activate and show Kaiba the image of the Blue Eyes White Dragon, and that he would suddenly sacrifice Obelisk and another monster to summon Blue Eyes White Dragon. Because she had a plan set up to destroy Obelisk, but yeah, she had no idea that he was going to switch plan and summon Blue Eyes. So sort of like right, so she saw him summon Obelisk, but the future sort of changed there, which is evident proof that yeah, even with the power of foreseeing the future doesn't mean, like I say again, doesn't mean that she was technically cheating, because she would have also known when the future changed to Blue Eyes White Dragon. So yeah, there was that surprise even to her. And of course, yeah, there's Merrick and evil Dark Merrick and Dark Bakura, and of course that ended the season two. Season three, of course, would begin with the virtual world arc. So yeah, that's pretty much season two. I thought I would have a little bit. I thought I had a little bit more as far as Hiko, Taikari, and um, Julie's involvement in the series. Only other thing I can say with them is that I know. Let's see. There was a. I'm trying to think. There were a couple of other. Oh yes, yes. There were a couple of other finalists in this tournament that Hiko and Taikari faced. That made up for them to face in a duel of the semifinals. That's what they call it, the semifinals. So um, there was that. I'm not sure who Casey had for Julie to face in the finals. I'm not completely sure of how her end went down with Julie, um, or any other information other than the fanfic I told y'all about earlier. So yeah, that's pretty much it there. Thought there'd be again. I thought there'd be a little bit more on Hiko, Julie, and Taikari's end, but that was it. As far as how young Taikari was, she was. I want to say, let's see, she's 9 years younger than Hiko. Well, actually, I take that back. 7 years. You know, Hiko was 9 and Taikari was 2. When they met each other. So let's see, 5 years later, so Taikari would actually be 7 when she entered the Battle City tournament. Yeah, and he could be a freshman in school, or possibly maybe because like I say, not exactly clarified of their age, except in the Japanese version, especially in the virtual world arc we'll get to in the next video, where Crump kept saying over and over about Taya's age. Yeah, so but in the role plays, yeah, my character was 14, and because especially the way the series went in general, um, like I say, because I'm pretty sure, um, even there probably time did probably pass between Duelist Kingdom and Battle City, but I highly doubt it was that much time. I would say anywhere between like maybe a few weeks to possibly a. Why did I freeze? Okay, maybe a few weeks to possibly a couple of months there. Never know, but I do know some time passed. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So and then like I say, my gotta rest my voice. I want to get my voice out there. I was gonna do a toy review after this, but I'm probably gonna do that probably next week. Possibly next week, depending on what my work schedule, on what me and Christina's work schedules be like. I will have videos coming up next week. Don't get me wrong, but it will be there will be some videos just at random. I ain't gonna tell you what they are, but there will be some other videos. However, the toy review just depends on our schedule and what we've got planned for next week in general. Yeah, so but there will be other videos. So yep, like what you heard in this live stream. Especially those of y'all probably watching on the replay. Uh, Definitely like, share, subscribe. Make sure also I gotta make this known at the end of my videos. Definitely, like I say, definitely like, and also leave some comments of what you think about what you think about these videos and everything. Also support us by buying some of our comic books, as well as the new ones that are out for Yumiko. Um, Also, be sure to support us on Patreon, even if it's just $1 a month. We would definitely appreciate that. Or you can even sponsor a video, like the way my boy, like the way Mr. Kings did for our last movie review, Big Mama's House 2. Be sure to check that out with his ad for him there, and he will be, and he does plan to sponsor another video because he's like I mentioned in like I mentioned in the review, he is adding some stuff to his place, so he can have sort of a grand, another sort of a grand opening to show off sort of the things that he's adding to his shack and everything to have more stuff to sell. Um, Also, be sure to those of y'all in the Shreveport area, be sure to attend the book signing coming up for Miracle Comics. Both me and my wife, featuring Yumiko and Bubblina, as well as some of our other comic books, but mainly Yumiko and Bubblina. August the Saturday, August the 5th, from 1 to 4 at the Moortown Branch Library. We'll be there autographing the books and everything. So be sure to come there. If get your copy there, or you can go. You can still get your copy before then and come by there to have it autographed there. Or especially if you're not in the Shreveport area, but you're like, well, maybe I'll come on by there. Make a little journey over there. Hey, definitely come out there. Um, we will we definitely will welcome you there. Get you some books, autographs, and everything. So, and with that, we will see y'all later in the next video. Take care, everybody. Stream it out. I was in.